Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your preview for the two last 16 games that we have going on tomorrow, which is going to be France versus Poland and England versus Senegal. This is going to be an interesting one because these are two matchups that there's two favourites, but there's definitely room for two upsets at the same time. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to very, very briefly just talk about something that I'm not sure if everyone has heard. I'm sure many of you have, but I don't know if everyone has. And I just thought it's the right time and place to say it. We've all heard about the latest on Pele. And the fact that his treatment has now come to an end. He's no longer, according to reports in Brazil, responding to any chemotherapy any longer. He's not responding to it, and therefore he's not getting any better. Now, according to those reports, he's now been put on end-of-life treatment, which is horrible. And I just thought it would be a good place to mention and pay at least a little tribute. I want to do something a little bit closer to the end of the World Cup, and I'm hoping that Pele is going to be okay and everything will be all right, because we tend to always wait until someone goes to start paying tributes and all that. And here we're talking about, rightfully so and rightfully named, the King of Football. And he's the King of Football for various reasons. So I've got a little video planned that I'll be able to put out, I'm hoping, towards the latter stage of this competition. And we'll see how far Brazil go. I'm expecting them to get far. And with this, you know what? I want England to go all the way. I even want Morocco to go as far as they can, because obviously they're next door neighbours to Algeria and all of that. So, you know, England and Morocco as a little side quest. But at the same time, for Pele, seeing Brazil go all the way would be pretty cool as well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, just to pay at least a little tribute, and my best well wishes go out to Pele. And I hope he's gonna be okay, at least in the short term, considering the circumstances and the reports that have come out today. So yeah, thought I'd mention that. Wait and stay tuned for the little video that I have planned. And let's get cracking into this preview, which is going to start with England. Normally, I'd start with the team that plays first, which is going to be France versus Poland. But considering that, you know, go England, and of course it's coming home. Let's start with England. England, Senegal. I am not getting carried away on this one. I'm not. I'm very well tuned with African football. I'm very well tuned with all the African teams that have gone to the competition, and not just those teams, but even the ones that haven't. Because I was paying attention to the qualifying. Obviously, I wanted Algeria to go through. Cameroon went instead. There's all the other teams that qualified, but the teams that missed out: Nigeria, Egypt, Ivory Coast, you know, all those teams. But Senegal are the most consistent African team, and have been for a while. The only team that put a dent, and I can say this with chest, that put a dent into Senegal's plans was in fact Algeria, when Algeria won the Africa Cup of Nations and beat Senegal in the final 1-0. And even then, Senegal were consistent. The manager, Cisse, and what he's done with this Senegalese team for the past, I think he's been with the Senegalese team for 8 years now. 9 years? 8 years, I think. He's done magical things. The progression has been consistent. It's just been improvement after improvement after improvement. And I've already allocated to you guys in terms of when they lost the Africa Cup of Nations in 2019. The very next one, they won it. You know, that's one step better. They got to the final and lost. The next one, they got to the final and won it. And then they qualify to the World Cup. And then they get to the last 16. The progression is just non-stop. This Senegalese team, I have to warn all of you that think this is going to be an easy game, right? It's not going to be an easy game. This Senegalese team has what it takes to knock England out. It does. It does. This is a competition of surprises. It's a competition of shocks. Senegal progressed through the group pretty well. And now they face an England team that are beatable if you allocate the correct way of playing and use your advantages and get to the disadvantages that England have. The Senegalese team have for me three things. Apologies. Three things that I think go their way. One, they've got, as I've already mentioned, consistency. They've got stability, right? Cissé's been with them for ages. The team are well gelled, well oiled, well lubricated, everything. They all have chemistry. They know each other, even without Mane. Second point, they are physical. They are physical. Especially at this competition with this climate and air-conditioned stadiums, they are going to find themselves at home. And against an England team that are also physical, considering that many of them play in the Premier League. But I'm not just talking about how long you can keep running for. I'm talking about the not just the endurance, but I'm talking about the strength, the speed, pace, agility. The Senegalese team are very, very well-equipped physical beings, right? I think in terms for pace, at least, and strength, Senegal probably outdo England in that department. The thing that the English have is just the level. These are all players in the Premier League. These are all well, except for Bellingham. These are all players that are at the highest level and have been since youth level. The Senegalese, not all of them. So there's that. However, tactically, Senegal are able to adapt and shift and change because they have that stability under Cissé. Southgate sometimes brings question marks. And there's no room for error at all in this competition. You make one mistake, you're done. I'm going to give you the review for all the games that happened later, but the United States were a prime example. One mistake, gone. In terms of getting back into the game, and then Netherlands got the third, right? Again, I'll give you the review later. But one mistake, you're cut. Southgate can have that in him. Even though his track record has been actually quite decent in terms of the World Cup semi-final, the Euros, the final, yes. But the Nations League, onwards from that, the way England have been playing, we had a fairly straightforward group, right? This is going to be a test. And the thing with this game is Senegal have nothing to lose. That's the problem here. England have everything to lose. Senegal are going into this guy, look, no one expects us to win. We're going to cause the biggest shock. And let me tell you, as African champions, they have a taste of winning. They know what it's like to get success, at least at their level, and at least in terms of a continental level. Now they're at the World Cup as African champions, how better to make a statement to knock England out in the last 16 when they have the tools. And they have a couple of lads that are based here. Mendy, Koulibaly. They have players and a very, very talented manager who is able to get the best out of them. So, bearing that in mind, how should England set up? How should Southgate approach this? Personally, I think he needs to go on form. Who is on form? Who is banging in the goals? Who's playing well? Who's getting forward? Who's defending? Who's getting stuck in? Who's looking good physically? Who's looking good mentally? All the attributes. I think that's how you approach knockout football. Now, Southgate, I think, is going to differ from what I'm going to show you. But let's get right into it. Let's get into the starting 11 and in terms of who I think should be playing. Then in terms of the team news, there's not really much to say because Southgate hasn't actually given an indicator. We don't actually know. I'm expecting a Maddison, for example, to now be available. I'm not expecting any injury concerns because the last game, no one came off. Everyone looked all right. So I'm expecting everything to be fine. The same goes for Senegal. There's not much concern there. So without further ado, let's get right into what 11 I think needs to be played tomorrow. Here it is. I'm going to go straight to it because we've got the France-Poland game to preview as well. But this is the 11 that I think needs to be selected. Now, I have a little question mark in defence. I've put Trippier on the right, Luke Shaw on the left. I wouldn't be against Kyle Walker playing. I wouldn't. He plays at a great level. He's physical. He's fast, right? Especially the pace. So I think that would work in our favour. However, would you play Trippier at left back then? Or Luke Shaw? Personally, if it came to that, I'd go Trippier. Because Trippier, form. Luke Shaw, to be honest, is on good form too. I just think in terms of speed, Luke Shaw will get done by the Senegal team on that left-hand side. Trippier, not so much. Kyle Walker, though, can keep up. But Trippier on the right, Luke Shaw on the left, I think is a good enough balance, and I think will get the job done. Maguire and Stones. Now, Ben White has left the England team. We don't know why. Have to respect his privacy on that one. It's got to be something big. We don't know what it is. So, best wishes to him, whatever it is. We have these two to rely on. Connor Cody as well, but we've got these two to rely on in terms of the defence. I hope there's no mistake there tomorrow. I hope there's no mistake. They've been playing well. Maguire's been great. I never thought I'd say that. Maguire's been great, so let's hope it continues. In midfield, Declan Rice, Bellingham, I think is the two to go to. I would not go to a 4-3-3. Senegal are more than likely to go with a 4-2-3-1. I think we should match them. Match them and go man for man. Because I think that way you are able to nullify whatever they're going to try and do. I think if we try to overpower the midfield, they will use the flanks. They will use a ball over the top. And I think that's not the way to go. I think 2, in terms of Bellingham, Rice, should be good enough. And 1 in front of them. Now, there's a debate into who you put in front. Because there's the whole Mason Mount debate. Maddison, if he's available, we don't know. I hope Maddison's available, but to stick him straight into a last 16 is just not going to be logical. So, personally, I would go based on form, based on who I think can get the job done. Saka needs to start on that right-hand side. For me, one of the most talented footballers in this England squad. Rashford on the left, because he's come off the back of 2 goals against Wales. Keep him playing. Confidence is high. Keep him playing. Plus, speed. He has it too. Rashford, for me, has the attributes to cause some sort of an issue on the left-hand side. Sterling, I think, would get out-muscled. And that's why I don't want to play Sterling. But Foden needs to be on this pitch as well. And if because Rashford on the left, who I don't think should play central, Saka on the right, who can't play central, Foden goes central. Because Foden can do the job there, can track back, is creative enough to be a 10 and to cause a threat going forward in terms of goals and to assist, whether it's one of the lads on his sides or Harry Kane up top, who I think is going to be the man because it has to be Harry Kane. If he's flopping, cool, we bring on Callum Wilson. But for me, that is an efficient, informed team that I think can get the job done with the right attributes to face a team like Senegal, who I think physically are going to be a test for England. So, that would be my starting 11. Let me know down below if you agree or disagree. But let's get cracking onto the prediction. In terms of the prediction... Man, okay, look, I'm going to be real. Senegal can cause a shock tomorrow. I don't want to say, Senegal are going to do it, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. However, considering it's England and it's coming home, means England have to win. So I am going to go with England 2, Senegal 1. 2-1 win, narrow win, will concede 2 goals though for England to progress to the quarterfinal. That is kind of on the basis of hope and a bit of bias, I'm not going to lie. Senegal, I respect a lot and I know what they've accomplished and I think they're a top team. Do not be surprised if they do something tomorrow. That's what I'm going to say though. But come on England, let's get the job done. Now, leave me your thoughts down below. Let's get into the next game, France versus Poland. Again, no team news in terms of this. We just have the basis of how they've been playing in the group stage, what they're going to bring to this game. France are the overwhelming favourites. They are the current world champions. We already know this. Poland, having just progressed through the group narrowly, with Lewandowski, obviously, is the main man in their side. The one advantage that France have is they managed to rest a lot of their players against Tunisia, which means that for this game, they are going to be ultra fresh. Ultra fresh. Poland won't. Now, Poland have a team, at least I think, offensively with Lewandowski, but even defensively, to be able to try and keep things away. It depends on whether the French are going to have a good day at the office or not, because if they are, they're winning. Let's just write it now. They are going to win. The French team, though, as I've said previous, the same way that I said about Belgium, you just know, the team's broken. Yes, they look good in terms of names, but the team's broken. The French team, I don't think are as good as many are portraying them to be based on what they accomplished 4 years ago. That was a proper team. Since then, they've had problems, and we have to acknowledge that. I think in terms of the camp inside, within the dressing room, within the team, the squad, Didier Deschamps, the team has had issues. And I think that eventually France are going to come to a roadblock. Now, is that going to be Poland? I doubt it. Personally, I don't think France are going to go all the way. They will get eliminated at some point. My prediction. Funny thing is if they win this, they play England or Senegal. So it might be down to England. But I think Poland's quality, I don't want to say it isn't enough. They have, and I think on the day, with good chances and a bit of luck, can beat France. I just think that the French squad just has, even on its bad day, too much quality to let a game like of this magnitude go. I think France win tomorrow against Poland just based on the players that they have, right? And that's it. However, I don't think it's going to be an overwhelming score. I think it's going to be something pretty small. I'm going with France 1, Poland 0. 1-0 win to France. They progress to the quarterfinal, and we get an England-France quarterfinal. That's my prediction. As I've said, France eventually, I think, will get eliminated. They've got top players. And I think they're not in the same direction as Belgium. France are a good team. They have what it takes to go all the way. But I think within the squad, there's issues. And even with Deschamps, there's issues. The Belgium team, for example, that was just broken. The team is broken. And I think many of those players, even if they look good on paper, are not as good as people think they are, especially when they're trying to play together. France have the talent. France have and should already have chemistry, but they've got internal political problems in that squad with the manager and with certain players in that group that are just causing all sorts of issues. And I think that's what's going to stop them. The team is not as harmonious as it once was 4 years ago. So the talent is there. I still think it's enough to get them across the line. They will get to the quarterfinal, I reckon. Poland, it's up to them to see if they have what it takes to cause the surprise and cause the shock and try and destabilise whatever disadvantage France has in their squad at the moment. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think France get the job done. So let me know down below if you agree or disagree. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you later on for the review of today's last 16 games with Netherlands and United States, as well as Argentina versus Australia. So I will see all of you later on. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I'll see you later. Have a good one, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.